Virgo, the Virgin. Here's your reading for December 2017. Remember, guys, that this is a general reading. So all of the messages will not completely resonate with your unique situation, nor are they entirely meant to. The energies and messages here can either be coming directly from you, or they can be happening to you from an outside source or from another person, for instance. So take what applies and leave what doesn't, okay? If you'd like to book a personal reading, go ahead and check the description box with the link there for information upon how to obtain one. All right, guys, let's go ahead and bless the decks, and then we'll get started. Beloved God, I open all channels of light, north, south, east, and west. Guardian angels of the four directions, my counsels who serve the law of one, holy pure ones, anchor this space now in your divine consecration to provide Virgo the clarity and direction as to which he or she seeks, and please grant me, the reader, the objectivity to read the cards and relay every single message as they are meant and or intended to be. Okay, Virgo, we're coming into the reading with the Lovers reversed here. You could possibly be dealing with a Gemini. Okay, Virgo, so at the heart of the matter here, this is kind of what's going on for December. I haven't seen all of the side cards here, or the little three sets here, so we're going to go a little bit intuitive. So, in terms of traditional tarot and, just tarot in general, we have for you for December 2017, we have the King of Wands reversed with the Knight of Cups reversed with the Ten of Swords reversed, and then coming into the reading with the Lovers reversed. So you could be dealing with a Gemini possibly. You could maybe be dealing with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, possibly maybe a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Okay, Virgo. So what I'm picking up here initially and seeing, or what the vibe I'm picking up here for you, I want to talk a little bit about November. This past month, I feel as though possibly for a lot of Virgos, rising and sun, possibly moon as well, I feel, I should say, like November was a trying month for you. There were a lot of emotional ups and downs. There were a lot of uncertainties, I feel. And as a fellow Virgo sun, I can attest to that. I don't want to make a generalization, but I do feel like a lot of Virgos were feeling this this sense of like stagnation or like unaccomplishment. I'm not sure why I'm picking that up, but I can attest to some of that myself. But this is not about me, this is about you guys, of course. But I do feel like November was a trying month for you. It was more about inner struggles, Virgo, than about external sources. External sources may have kind of triggered some things or played a certain role, but I do feel like November was a very trying month. But it was more internal. There's a lot of things going on, figuring out where you're going to place things, kind of your home life may have been a little rocky, things of that nature. But I do feel like it was more of an inner struggle, or, more of a personal inner struggle, I feel. And I feel as though, Virgo, that going into December here, or coming into December, I should say, you're starting to possibly realize this. You're starting to see that you were really not yourself. There was a lot of temperamental upheavals. There was a lot of temperaments or temperamental situations that kind of left you with uncertainty, left you with a lot of feelings, Virgo, of kind of not knowing where to go, and kind of without a solution, or without solutions to temporary situations, circumstances. Whether that be home life for you, whether that be relationship, whether that be career, whatever it may be for you today. But I do feel like you are coming into December with that being at the fore of your mind, knowing that you were kind of off your off balance a little bit, off kilter, just a tad bit. And there are some moments of possibly, depending upon how you responded to it and how you handled, these situations or circumstances or relationships, whatever it may be for you. But you do feel some sort of remorse, Virgo, for this now, and you're really out of your element. And I feel like that's why these cards are here for you in the center. You felt like maybe you kind of exerted your power a little bit over other people. You kind of feel like maybe, so speaking of November, of course, feeling like your emotions were a little out of whack and you kind of were a little bit stubborn. You kind of didn't really want to understand what was going on. It was how you felt at the moment, and that's what it was, which is very unlike you, Virgo, to kind of exhibit those types of aspects of yourself. But I do feel like a lot of shadow work was probably done, and it was brought to the surface for you to really see what is really underneath who you really are, and starting to realize these things, because these things have to come to the surface, Virgo, for you to realize if and when they are an issue, and how they play out in your life, and how they play out subconsciously in your relationships and partnerships, and in your career, in your home, everything of the sort. And I do feel here, Virgo, like with the lovers here reverse coming into the ring, I kind of feel like there could be an aspect now of December, and speaking of December now, that you may feel kind of like you are a little bit there's a part of you that doesn't really want to take responsibility for this a little bit. It's kind of like you just want to just kind of brush it under, underneath the rug, and just be like, okay, let's move on, it happened, whatever, but you must revisit this, Virgo, and you must see what the triggers were, why you were like that SO. I mean, of course, the planets and the planetary alignments do affect us in different ways depending upon what's in our chart and our transits, of course. But I do feel like Mars played a big role in, or is continuing to play a big role in December, as well as it was really heavily prevalent and felt in November for sure. I'm sorry I'm bouncing back and forth from November and December, but I feel like they're tied. There's a synchronicity here. There's a cause and effect in a sense. And I do feel here, Virgo, initially what I'm picking up on is you kind of didn't really care at that time when things were kind of going on. It's just how you felt and you wanted to express it. But I do feel really big here, Virgo, that some shadow work was really done. And once again, depending upon how you handled the situations, it was either effective or ineffective. But whether or not, or regardless of the situation, whether it's effective or ineffective, I do feel, Virgo, that you did see some sides of you that you needed to really see. And I feel like going into December, these things are going to be corrected. You're going to really reevaluate things. You're going to really see where you fell short, or where you continue to fall short, whatever the case may be for you. And I really do feel here also that you realize, Virgo, how maybe other people have maybe taken advantage of you, or how you maybe have allowed it to happen, possibly for yourself, in terms of the outside influences or external stimuli, whether that's people, circumstances, situations, whatever it may be for you. But I do feel as though the roles were sort of reversed back then. Back then in November, I feel. And now you're starting to see what, or how much havoc, can come from exhibiting your ambition upon other people. And how also, Virgo, I see here, I'm picking up on how you realize that you can really now see how it could have or is really affecting you in terms of your relationships, in terms of moving forward with people. And with the Ten of Swords here reversed, I look at this card sometimes as, theatrics, playing this certain role to get an expected result. And I feel, Virgo, like it does kind of hold some veracity here. It's merited in some sense in terms of theatrics with the Ten of Swords being reversed. I feel as though that this was not really you. It was an aspect of you That's where I'm kind of getting at, or where I'm going with initially what I'm picking up here, Virgo, for you. And I also feel that, with the Ten of Swords, it can also be read or interpreted as needing rest now. Needing rest for experiencing or going through these turbulent emotions, this emotional roller coaster. And also, Virgo, I'm not sure if you have ever heard of the song by the group called Wham, but it's called Everything She Wants. No connotation attached to the she, but I do feel like that song for some reason is sticking out right now, and it's really playing in my head. So check that out. It's called Everything She Wants by Wham. The group is WHAM, then with an exclamation point. Yeah, check that out. Okay, I'll leave it in the description box as well for you if you would like to check it out. So back to you guys. But initially, Virgo, that's what I'm picking up on initially, okay? Let's see. Okay, the Ten of Wands. Justice reversed here, okay. You can maybe be dealing with the Libra, possibly. Yeah, you could be dealing with the water sign as previously stated. Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. Page of Wands reversed. Okay. I feel, Virgo, that maybe this has become a burden now. That now you must deal, kind of with the consequences of this, whether good or bad. But I'm kind of leaning more towards maybe the unfavorable circumstances or consequences of putting on this type of, or exhibiting this type of energy, in terms of not wanting to understand where the emotions really lie, and also exhibiting maybe some of your force upon other people and just kind of being very intractable, being very kind of stubborn and just saying, I'm going to do what I want to do and not really caring about other people's feelings, or just kind of being a little bit self-consumed a little bit, And with Justice reversed here, I kind of look at this, Virgo, as seeing this as what's really fair now. Since you may have possibly exhibited these types of forces or these types of energies upon other people or upon your social circles, is it really shocking, Virgo, to have to maybe possibly in December put the pieces back together? Should we be, if you were doing this, should we be shocked when this was to transpire, this was to be the end result? In judging kind of ourselves, but in a healthy manner, just kind of revisiting everything and assimilating this type of behavior, or this type of really exhibiting these types of aspects of yourself, which I'm picking up, Virgo, that you keep under wraps, just to kind of keep the peace and to, be diplomatic and to also kind of not express those things to other people. But when we don't express those things to other people at an appropriate time upon an appropriate precipice, they can turn into burdens, Virgo. And when we don't express them, I'm not saying right away, but when we don't make it a point and we don't make it a conviction to express how we feel, Virgo, if we feel like we've been wronged or we feel like we've been taken advantage of and everything of the sort, they will turn into burdens, Virgo. And you're going to have to then reap what you kind of sow, when it all comes to the surface and it explodes. And, when you're done imploding and you explode, to say the least, And with Justice reversed, you're back to what I was saying about what is really fair. Now people may respond to you differently, or they may see you in a different light. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that these people believe that you've done a permanent job. But I do feel like people now see that other side of you, which is not really, it's kind of hard to describe, Virgo. It's who you really are in terms of what you deal with, but it's just all about appropriate timing in terms of expressing yourself and doing it in a healthy and effective and a viable manner. And I really feel that when we allow things to bottle up, okay, and I'm speaking to you guys as much as I'm speaking to myself right now too, that when we allow things to bottle up, we tend to explode. And I feel like that's when they turn into a burden, and then it further turns into a burden because it's already a burden when we don't express how we really feel in a very organic manner and in a timely manner. They turn into those burdens, Virgo. And then when we then explode, and then we then, relay what it is that we feel we need to say or what was needed to be said. That's when justice comes around and says, really, Virgo, take a look. This all could have been avoided if you just kind of expressed yourself in a appropriate manner, and upon appropriate timing. And that's tough to do, to call out those specific times. But you, out of a lot of, probably most of the earth signs, Virgo, you know about perfect timing. You know what's appropriate and what's not. And don't beat yourself up for certain circumstances that kind of make its way to the surface. It's not about, Virgo, it's not what you say, Virgo, it's how you say it. And I feel like that's the stress of the reading up until this point right now. It's really, that's what it is. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Yeah, Justice Reversed, I really just feel like that's really what's going on. It's asking you to take a look at it and say, or should you be shocked that now you have to deal with this? Coming over here to the Queen of Cups here reversed and the Page of Wands reversed. I really feel here like it's time to see what inappropriate actions can do and how they can turn into a bigger problem and how they can further isolate you from your social circles, and how not only are you affected by this emotionally, but then your social circles are affected by this emotionally as well. And then people don't really know where they stand. They don't really know how to approach you during those intermittent moments of anger, or those moments as to which this is exhibited or revealed in an inappropriate manner. And I feel, Virgo, like not only do you feel uneasy and not knowing if you're coming or going, but the group, your social circles, feel that as well. And I feel, Virgo, like you're going to take this time in December to really see how these things have affected you, and how it's, and also realize how important it is to express yourself, Virgo, and to do it at specific times, and to do it in a certain time frame. And I really feel, Virgo, like you and your social circles feel like the Queen of Cups reversed here. Don't really feel too great about the situation. But like I always say, we should be glad when it's our fault, because then we're given the chance to fix the situation. But we must not repeat that situation. So it leads to a dilemma. Because when we repeat these mistakes, Virgo, when we know that we're repeating the mistakes, and when you are taking responsibility, for that end, that's when we're the Page of Wands reversed here. That's when we just don't want to understand. We just have the negligence of not understanding it. And then we end up becoming kind of put on autopilot in a sense. And then that's when we turn from the page, and then we skip the Knight of Wands, and then we end up being or portraying the King of Wands reversed. And if we skip the Knight, hopefully if it's upright, we don't really know how we came to this point, or we don't really understand the sources as to why we come to the King of Wands reversed here, why we're doing the things that we're doing, because we missed that step in terms of seeking out the reasons as to why. We have the Seven of Swords reversed and the Eight of Swords reversed. Okay, interesting. So I feel, Virgo, like it's time to catch yourself. It's time to really just take responsibility, And I'm not excluding, or I'm not eliminating, or diluting any outside influences that may have caused some of this. But we can't control what happens to us, Virgo, but we can control how we respond to it. And we have to, and we must take responsibility for our end of the deal, or our end of the additive of the circumstance. It takes two to tango, and we have to take that end of the responsibility in terms of how we responded to it and how we chose to respond to it. Because it is a choice, Virgo, just like the Lovers reversed here. It's maybe making the wrong decision, maybe not making the right decision, or maybe not making a decision at all. And I feel like, Virgo, this card, it goes a little bit deeper. It's more of who you are. It was a trying month in November, but I feel like coming into December, you're going to turn this card upright. I really do feel, Virgo. And it's just going to take some time. And it's going to take some admitting certain things about yourself. But once again, it's okay when it's your fault because you're given the chance to fix the situation, and how you fix that situation and the manner as to which you go about doing that. That's all dependent upon your decision, Virgo. And with the Eight of Swords reversed here, I feel as though we realize that we weren't really trapped in this mindset, in this debilitating behavior. It was just a hiccup. And we're all entitled to our hiccups and our bumps in the road, Virgo. But how we fix the situation or how we rectify the situation says a lot about our character. And I have faith in you, Virgo, you're going to make the right decision, of course. But that's all up to you and has nothing to do with anyone else. So, back to the Lover's Reverse, how you come into the reading. Let's put this here. I think we discussed that a little bit. Six of Wands, Virgo. You know, public recognition. People understanding you. But this is a choice. And also people will then applaud you, Virgo. Maybe not out loud, but they will. In terms of you rectifying the situation and making it right, Virgo. And I have faith that you're going to do it. It's just going to be up to you. And with this card here, upright, I feel like you're going to do it. And also people seeing the morals in you and the ethics in you, and to actually say, you know what, Virgo owned up to his shit. He ain't that bad, or she's not that bad. Like, we got to give her props for that, you know, or give him props for that. And also with the Page of Cups here, understanding the emotion, Virgo, and where it came from, and knowing that a lot of this, you know, not minusing other external influences, but it would have to do more with you, Virgo. Something that was going on with you, your own sense of possible ineptitude in certain situations or circumstances. It's going back to the emotion, Virgo, and it's okay. It's understandable why the Queen of Cups is reversed here and the Page of Cups is upright. We can't skip the step, Virgo. I feel like skipping the Knight step with the Page of Wands and then skipping the Knight of Wands and going to the King of Wands, and then once again in tandem the Page of Cups, skipping the Knight of Cups, and then going to the Queen of Cups. We can't skip that Knight step, because when we don't skip that Knight step, we then voyage out and we then understand exactly how it happened. We can't skip the Knight. It doesn't work like that. And with the Seven of Cups reversed here, I feel like you're going to make the right decision, and you're going to see how important it is to make the right decision. And knowing that how you were in November was the illusion of success. But now it's no longer happening for you, Virgo. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and pull a Jesus card and see what he has for you. Okay, Virgo, so the Comforter, which is the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things. John 14:26. Okay, Virgo, I think this kind of sums it up. The Comforter, not only comforting yourself by speaking of these things in an appropriate manner upon an appropriate time frame, or in an appropriate time frame, but you're also going to recognize what this did and the possible havoc that it wreaked. The wreaking of that havoc, Virgo. And I also feel here too that you're going to see this, and you're also going to take your spirituality and take the higher road in terms of being the bigger person and saying, you know what, okay, I was wrong. I must correct this now. And then you teach other people, Virgo, the right way of doing things. Doing it the right way. Because the right way is the only way for you, Virgo. Going back to the Six of Wands. People are going to see this in you. People are going to learn from this experience as well what the right thing to do is. You're going to do it, Virgo. I really feel it. I want to pull two here. If you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall, remove. Matthew 17:20. One more here. Exactly. Love one another as I have loved you. John 13:34. All right, Virgo. You just have to have faith in the process, Virgo. Even if your faith is super small, as long as you keep God in the middle of it, or your higher power, who or whatever it is that you confide in, Virgo. When you keep that at the fore, it only comes from love, and you'll make the correct decisions. And you'll also rectify it in the correct manner as well. But be the comforter, Virgo. Because I know servitude is really big for you. But sometimes we have to take a break, Virgo, and comfort ourselves so we can be there and have enough energy to comfort other people and love other people the way that we want to be loved as well. Okay, Virgo, that completes your reading. I hope you liked it. You'll be fine. Just I have confidence in you that you're going to make the right decisions and you're going to rectify the situation appropriately. You got this. Let's take this as a learning experience, okay? All right, Virgo, we'll see ya next year.